Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Jin, click OK, Arthur, Adam, Neil somewhere lurking around, I do believe, but we're also joined by a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So welcome one and all.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here. It's been emotional. It's been an emotional pre-show. It hasn't really. We're just having a laugh, talking about how flat Earth is and how there's no necessity for you to get into debates about the ball anymore. Let them expend their cognitive expense on the ball and the disclaimers, as we were discussing that map-making guy. Again, because the map-making guy has now put himself into a position where he's going to have to disclaim all of the ball-related nonsense that goes along with your flat Earth measurements by disclaimer. And smugness doesn't necessarily follow when you're having to disclaim through cognitive expense how ball-shaped the world isn't that you're measuring flat. But we've got another one. We're going to cover this particular video today, which is by vividmaths.com. This has been suggested by OneDeck. Hopefully you'll get involved. You there, OneDeck? Disappeared. Either way, I was hoping that he was going to do some response to it. Is he not here? There he is. Hey, OneDeck.
Hey, Nathan. Yeah, just had a call coming in.
No worries. Hopefully we'll get some reactions from the panel in this regard. So when it's an anti-flat Earth video, I've asked that the panel step in more than I. We'll see how it goes.
Black Friday is back. Discover thousands of deals, like sofas from £249 and dining tables from £139. Don't miss out. Shop from the 20th of November.
It's just
Wrong video, sorry.
Practical example with angles. The angle is right here. We have this lady named Jackie, and she's in this boat and she's gone sailing, and it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and she's lapping it up and basking in the sun. And she notices this cliff way out here.
Does she now? Okay, let's just do the little sharey bit. So this is Vivid Maths, that's the name of the channel. And I'd like you to let him know if you are in the live stream chat. Let's just pop out my chat. For some reason it's not popped out yet. There we go. Let him know if you're in my live stream chat at Nathan Oakley 1980. Sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots or indeed by Vivid Maths himself. So try and keep it polite and just allude to the fact that we're helping him along in the YouTube algorithm where we don't get any help. And yeah, just point him in the right direction of this channel to let him know that we've covered him. I need to change this chat in here, don't I? Let's just do that first. There we go. Okay, so there's the link. Please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980. Sent me with a polite comment, like I say, that doesn't immediately get removed. There is, how many people watching? Over 20 people watching. I know we've literally only just started, but if you are amongst the 20 people, 22 people and rising in the live stream chat for Nathan Oakley 1980, please do pop along to the video. You can open your chat box if you're on your phone, click on it, obviously come back, but let him know we've covered his video with a polite comment below his video. And I'm sure he'll be very grateful for getting the interaction from you. I'm sure everybody who's in YouTube likes getting interaction from new members, new subscribers, new people who just come along to see your video. at the behest of me asking. So please do actually do this if you are in the live stream. Pop along to Vivid Maths, let him know at Nathan Oakley. 1980 sent me. Be polite, be rude, don't be rude, don't let the YouTube algorithm bite.
500 meters out from where she is. So she gets her little protractor out and actually measures the angle of elevation. Now, what's the angle of elevation? It's from the horizontal or the mean sea level upwards to the target of your
mean sea level. I have this conversation with some ballers sometimes when I know that isn't celestial navigation, but in celestial navigation, you will be using the mean sea level for the baseline. And every time I bring this up to a baller, they'll say, well, it's got nothing to do with the surface of Earth. You're not using the surface of Earth when navigating the surface of Earth. And I try and explain in detail that you are using, it's got a horizon mirror. You're bringing the sun down to the horizon, which is the GP, which will be one point of the horizontal line. The other point on the horizontal line will be you, the observer, is GP. And that is what that guy is just... Could give us a J on that, Nathan, because I'm sure he's explaining you do use sea level for the elevation angle. You can see clearly that you do.
And she notices this cliff way out here, 500 meters out from where she is. So she gets her little protractor out and actually measures the angle of elevation. Now, what's the angle of elevation? It's from the horizontal or the mean sea level upwards to the target of your measurement, which...
Yes.
Yep. Horizontal mean sea level. I mean, do we have to say that? How many times do we have to say that? Horizontal mean sea level being used to obtain an elevation angle when out at sea. Not curved.
What else we got on here? There's another number there. Can you see it?
Height.
Yeah, well, that's another one that we'll get to as well. We might as well cover that. So H. Yeah, what's that got to do with flat Earth?
Well, I mean, your height will be the altitude above sea level.
Yeah, it's going to be perpendicular to the plane of reference. So when you're using trig, you're using right angle triangles. It's perpendicular to this. What's this other value? Can you see this?
Yeah, that's a distance. It's in meters, and it's a distance, which is a linear horizontal measurement, which he's just explained. It's horizontal, and he's proving that the measurements on it, it's a horizontal measurement.
It's kind of like we've got a couple of options, and either this is a horizontal linear measurement of distance for it to function with this process, ipso facto meaning that Earth is and can only be measured flat, or it isn't, in which case this all falls apart and this is pointless and this man's video is wrong. Either Earth's flat, like it's being measured, or the measurement fails.
Yep. I mean, it's in plain sight there, isn't it? He's explained. We can see it. We all know what's happening there. We can see everything clearly. What it is, triangulation, horizontal. You've got your linear heights, like you say, your linear distances across the horizontal mean sea level. I mean, it's just broad as daylight.
Which in this case is the top of the cliff. So she's aiming right there to right on the edge, right on the apex of that cliff. So she measured 32 degrees, 15 minutes. So the good news about trigonometry is this tool allows you to measure heights of objects, whether it be buildings, cliffs, hills, mountains, easily without having to actually physically measure it. All you need to know is how far out you are and the angle of elevation. That's all you need. Isn't that terrific? Well,
So as a prerequisite, we'll need how far out we are, horizontally and straight then. Or the trig fails. I mean, it's the rock and hard place. Either you've accepted that Earth's flat for the 500 meters, horizontal, linear distance, or it isn't. I mean, I don't care either way. Earth is just measured flat. It's like not like it's contestable. I mean, maybe we could put it on a little list of things we shouldn't say.
I mean, he's doing trig. For one, if that horizontal mean sea level baseline was curved, was a curval, you wouldn't be doing trig, and you wouldn't be obtaining the elevation angle. So like you say, you wouldn't have anything, you wouldn't be able to do this. It wouldn't work. It has to be horizontal, yeah, for the elevation angle in order to do this trigonometry. That's how it works. Simple.
Let's do that now. Let's work out the height of h of this cliff. So what are the steps? Well, first of all, what we need to do is determine what ratio is it. So for example, sine, cos, or tan. Then we plunk it into the trig ratio and we put in the 500, we put in the 32 degrees 15, and we can come up with the height of the cliff. Now, the good news is we don't need to give it in centimeters or millimeters. They only want it in the nearest meter. So let's do that. We're going to round it up to the nearest meter. So let's decide where that angle is going to. So I'm looking at this, and Jackie's in the boat, and it's a bit bumpy here, and she's kind of got the protractor there, and it's 32 degrees 15 she measures, and she looks directly in front of her, and that clearly is what? It's the opposite, yeah? And
so we're definitely not dealing with curve angles then. Detailing a bog standard right angle triangle then.
I mean, I know he is measuring an elevation angle. We've just been through everything that's happening and what he's utilising. This isn't celestial navigation. Some people get, if you've got that cliff, you can work this out. You can't do this with celestial navigation. It doesn't work like that with the lights in the sky, does it, Nathan? You can't get the height. This is the other thing you get. Well, what's the height of the star? We're not interested in the height of the star when doing celestial navigation. So I've just brought that up because this does get thrown into the conversation sometimes.
Isn't it?
To try and just...
You're reading my mind. I was just going to ask you about that one day.
Is celestial navigation not the same as celestial star height measuring? We want to travel to them, don't we? Isn't that why we're doing it? Don't we want to travel to the lights? Is that not what we're trying to do?
Yeah, well, we need to know the height to find our location on Earth. I mean, if we didn't know the height, we wouldn't be able to
location on
pinpoint our position.
Earth. What's that got to do with the height of them? Do you need the height? Oh, no, you don't. You'd need to find your location if you're going to get lost and die at sea. You're not trying to get to the star, though. You're just using the star to find your location on the ground, right? Why are they asking about the height? Do they not understand the process and what you're trying to achieve with it?
Obviously not, no.
Answers on a postcard. Why are people asking about the height when doing celestial navigation? I mean, at no point when people have got a map in front of them are they asking for the height of the sun. They just need to know how to get to the Old Kent Road. That's a location on the ground. No one's worried about how high the lights are. The lights are above certain places on the ground, though, and you can figure that out by getting a fix, by using elevation angles to the lights. But you're not trying to figure out the light's height. That's idiotic. You're trying to find your way along the ground. Oh, looks like someone hit my door. Just back in a second. Hopefully someone will hold
Yeah,
the
but
fort.
they use that, one deck, they use that as like a sort of a gotcha, which makes no sense to me. Because you're right, we're navigating the Earth, not the skies. The stars are just used so we can get our fix.
Yeah, they just like to throw a spanner into your chain of thought so that they try and, knock you off your chain of thought. But it never works because you just say, that was just said, we're not measuring to go to the stars because we can't go there. It's for an elevation angle only. What the hell are you talking about?
And
they
they
think they're
don't
Captain Kirk
obey
or
our
something.
geometry.
Sorry.
Let's just say they think they're Captain Kirk or something, travelling to the stars. Are you nuts? We're using this process to find our way along the bloody ground, not along the stars. We're not making a captain's log, travelling to different star systems. That's not what's going on with celestial navigation. They got the idea wrong because the word celestial's in it, I think.
You can do it with this. You can triangulate with this method using the cliff. The lights in the sky, we don't know how they work or what they are, but we know we can use them to get elevation angles in celestial navigation using the sea sextant, using mean horizontal sea level for the baseline for your elevation angle, and you can pinpoint your position. with 2 or 3 fixes of circle of equal altitudes. You can find about where you are roughly. Yeah, but you can't do that. This with the lights in the sky. What is it, that one, Neil? With the isn't the elevation angle the same no matter how high you are when taking readings from the stars?
Yeah, because they don't obey our geometry on Earth. They're different. The stars are different.
It's used
Anyway,
to our,
just thought I'd bring that up.
it's used to
really.
our advantage. So the fact that you can go to any elevation, you can make this observation of this star and take an angle to it, and then follow the whole process through to find your fix and figure out where you are, so you can then navigate your way home. Well, if you do that and you're in a plane, the angle still works exactly the same. It's the same angle. So therefore, as you raise in altitude, 20,000 feet, let's say, and then make the same measurement, does that mean that you've got 20,000 feet closer to the star? Well, obviously not, because the angles stayed exactly the same. Unlike this, if you raise 20,000 feet above this cliff, it would no longer be in an elevation angle. You'd be measuring a depression angle because it'd be below you. Eventually, you reach it and then breach it, and then you're making a depression angle if you carry on measuring it. That's what happens when you raise up in altitude when doing this process to measure the height of a cliff versus the elevation angle measurement to acquire your fix in navigation.
Correct.
And the other measurement is the 500 meters, how far out she is from the base.
Is that straight and flat? Do I need to say that's completely redundant for my audience's benefit, saying this 500 meters is straight and flat? It's just a fact. If it isn't, it's no longer going to be the process he's described with his cosines, is it? It must be flat. That's how Earth is measured.
He confirmed it earlier in his statement when he was explaining it was the horizontal mean sea level. So he's already established it's horizontal. Now we've got a 500 meter distance between 2 points along that horizontal mean sea level. So it's all horizontal angles and level.
Base of the cliff to the boat. And that was already measured, and that happens to be to the right of the angle, of this angle of elevation, and it's called ADJ. That's adjacent, which means right next to. So we've established that. That's always the first thing.
Hold on, I need to get some of this written down. Adjacent means right next to. Gotcha. Got it written down. Thank you.
Over adjacent. Now, by now, you probably know what opposite over adjacent is. What is it? It's tan. That's right. It's tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. And that equals, let's put in the numbers. Well, straight over here for the opposite, we have h. Let's put that in. All over, and then adjacent, which is the distance from the boat all the way to the base of the cliff, we can see.
Okay, so Earth's measured flat. There's nothing really else to say other than that's how we measure, in this case, height of this cliff, perpendicular to a plane of reference with a horizontal distance. That's how it's done. In this case, by way of elevation angle. That's what we're doing.
That baseline over there, Nathan, is that baseline flat and level?
Yeah. It can't not be, or it won't be a measurement.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be an elevation angle, and it's mean sea level. Yeah. So I mean, that was the main reason. I just wanted to. When I watched this, that's what I liked about it, because, like I've said, I've had arguments with ballers about the mean sea level being the adjacent, and they argue the toss it's not. You can't use the surface of Earth. Well, this guy's showing you can. We know he's not doing celestial navigation, but he's using a similar process, and he's using sea level. It's horizontal, and so yes, mean sea level will be used for your elevation angle, the base, the adjacent. And that's the reason I wanted to just point that out, Nathan. The rest of it, maybe we don't need to go through. It's just working out that now. But that was the main gist of it.
What I noticed they're doing now on deck is they're separating the ocean, the seas, from the Earth. The ocean is one thing, the earth is another thing. But this would be the same thing if you're doing it on land and you were trying to survey the land.
Well, you have trig points, don't you? You know, and you can triangulate them trig points, you know, along a horizontal baseline, and they've got these mean sea level height on them, and you can use a level there to make sure everything's level, and they are level because you'll be using maybe a theodolite on them to measure further angles of large areas of the land horizontally. So yeah, that's how you do it on land. We watched that video the other day, didn't we? Remember the mapping guy? He's explained it really, really well. I mean, he looked really like he was enjoying his job and explaining how Earth's measured flat to us all. I did enjoy that one.
Yeah, but we don't understand.
What's not to understand? I mean, I
You don't
don't
know,
care.
Nathan.
We've gone through his video, and we'll go through others similar to his in that regard, and they'll be the same. It'll be people like this guy. He's not having to make any disclaimers about how non-horizontal the 500 meters is. He's not having to make a disclaimer about how non-90 degrees perpendicular to that 500 meters the height is being measured. It's just a measurement. It goes without saying that Earth is flat. Here it is being measured flat, like it's always measured, and always was measured, and always will be measured flat. That's just what Earth is. Flat. Or we wouldn't be measuring it that way, would we?
Nope.
Nope. There'd be some other process that would be in place, you know, using the curve of the Earth, you know, to not get an elevation angle. There'd be another way of measuring to account for that, and it would be shown and displayed how that's done. But that's never shown and displayed because we're not using a curved Earth. We're using sea level. Sorry, I mean mean sea level.
Well, if you're going to do that, then you're going to need different tools. They have to come up with a tool called the curval.
Yeah, the curval in the globe box.
Glocks. You put your curval in your glocks, not your box, your glocks.
That's it, yeah.
I'm happy to just leave this on screen as a diagrammatical example of Earth being measured flat. Like I say, it becomes redundant to actually mention it when you're a normie, because it goes without saying if it wasn't flat, you wouldn't be capable of making this measurement. Now, Earth just is measured flat, and the whole last 10 years of our lives, if we've been here on flat Earth doing what we do, has been avoiding talking about how Earth gets measured. Turning flatties into conspiratard idiots that talk about 9/11 truth and Sandy Hook, and allowing the ballers to utilise these very same flat Earth measurements to claim that they're on a ball with them without having any challenge. They're using the horizontal distance measurements too when they're suggesting that they can compare and contrast what we should or shouldn't see at a distance that they gather up from Google Earth. You're just utilising flat Earth measurements in all instances, but just nobody was around to say, don't do that, and say it's not flat. That's really silly. But now what we're finding is, or I'm being told, I'm not experiencing this firsthand, we're being told that our compadres over in other servers are banning the use of the people who say, well, we're just measuring it flat in this instance. So this guy, I mean, he wouldn't do very well in certain servers because he'd be told you're not allowed to just measure the height of a cliff face, because by doing so, you're automatically acknowledging ipso facto that Earth has to be and is being measured flat. You're like, yeah, he is, isn't he? But he doesn't care. He's just going about his normie business, measuring the height of this here cliff, like he's not got a care in the world, because he hasn't. Now, I would suggest that, it wouldn't be very fair for you, if you're a ball-believing fundamentalist zealot, to start telling this guy what he should do with his life. Like, you need to explain to your audience that you're not measuring Earth ball-shaped because it's just convenient to not measure it ball-shaped. That doesn't mean it's not ball-shaped, though, and it definitely doesn't mean it's flat when you're measuring it flat, okay? You need to put all these disclaimers into your next version. In fact, remake this and just delete it and make sure you add some comments before you do to the info box so that everyone knows how ball-shaped it is.
You know what's weird, Nathan? in the beginning, if you remember, it was ballers and they were relying on us to skip right past it. Like we didn't see it, right? But they were using flat earth measurements the whole time. Now we see it, and it's not the ballers telling us don't do that. It's flat earthers telling us don't do that. It's very strange.
Well, I don't know that it is flat earthers that are saying that. They say they're flat earthers. They could just be LARPers.
No, these are well-named people and servers that, they're just not going with the measurements for some reason.
Well, why else would you tell people not to use a particular flat earth argument? So if it's a ball game and you see someone else doing a particular play and you're allowed, it's not in the rules to not just copy them. You'd copy them, right? If it's a successful play. But that's not what they're doing. They're not saying don't use that play because we can't, we're not allowed to. If they're flatties, they can. But they're saying don't use it. It's not fair to say it's measured flat. Go and tell this guy. I mean, I'm saying that in jest because I don't think you should. I don't think anybody should go and tell this guy anything. He's happy. Look how happy he is measuring Earth flat. He don't need a load of idiots telling him, well, by doing this, you're making Earth flat. Well, yeah, he is. It's just how he's measuring it, though, isn't it? Why wouldn't he measure Earth flat? That's how it's measured.
Yeah. He's taking advantage of mean sea level and using it for an elevation angle measurement. You know what I mean? I mean, I've not seen that. I did have a browse over that list a little bit. I can't remember it all, but there's a few, anything to do, like the pitch data, saying that's a bad idea. Pitch data is in reference to the horizontal plane that the aeroplane is flying over. Yeah, so it is something to do. It's a measurement. You're using Earth for the measurement, the surface of Earth as a horizontal plane. Same as the, I'm sure they said celestial navigation. Like I've just explained in this, celestial navigation, especially when you're out at sea, you're using the sea level, mean sea level, for the horizontal baseline. So that it's a great example, celestial navigation, of how Earth is being used as a flat horizontal baseline for the elevation angle. Admittedly, there's something about a rainbow and a dome on there. Yeah, I mean, that's nothing to do with a measurement. That is nonsense. You wouldn't be sort of bringing that up. But anything that you can reference measurements to, yeah, you're going to be doing that. All right.
That's not the purpose of this video. But essentially, what you're able to do, what the book is able to do, is to say, listen, if you're seeing star A at 50 degrees, okay, and not at 90 degrees, well, the only way you can do that is that you have to be a certain distance away from its location at 6 p.m.
Yeah, so this is establishing ground positions.
90 sorry, Nathan.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just sorry, I didn't. It was a bad line. Did he mention 90 degrees there? Is that a 90 degree angle? Did he say? So what's the requirements of a 90 degree? I mean, it looks like he's using sea level. I'm sorry, I mean mean sea level there. Again, like on the other video, for the adjacent or the baseline, and then he's got a square there. That's a 90 degree angle, which would be two straight lines, and he's using sea level for one of them.
Pause. I'm noticing something. Does anybody see that sun?
Yeah, see it.
Does anybody see that? What do you want to call that? That sun ray going straight and level across the ocean?
Because it's flat.
Well, just a quick point. I do like the way that One Deck is bringing us back to that horizontal baseline. How did he get that angle? That is so instructive that the people who are listening are really getting it. You know, it's so important. It's critical, crucial, fundamental that baseline is horizontal. And the fact that One Deck is actually bringing that back every time the guy brings it up really does send that message up. So well done there, picking that up nicely. Thank you.
I'm sorry to do this. I'm actually getting word in my ear that this argument's actually on a list. So it's probably best that you don't point out that we're measuring Earth flat with this stuff. It's on a list. Did you guys not know that?
Well, it's on a list of things not to say when trying to prove Earth is
I'm
flat.
afraid so, Neil. I think it's curtains for this argument now. It's on a list. Let's be honest. You do obey the list,
Can we not-
don't you, Neil? You know what
we not
happens if
use
you don't
this,
obey the list? The world will
This
end.
isn't an argument. Nathan, this isn't an argument. This word argument keeps coming up. This what is on screen now is somebody explaining how to use the sun in this instance to maintain an elevation angle using sea level. There's no like ifs or buts about this. This is what happens. People have been doing this for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's not an argument. It's a statement of fact. And you do utilize the sea level. You can see it there. You've seen it in the last video. Sea level is being used for the adjacent, for the horizontal baseline, for the elevation angle. End of story. It's a fact.
Yes.
So you can't say not the ground.
Well, what Wondeck's pointing out is that it's a prerequisite. Therefore, to say, and therefore it's flat, is redundant. It's like when you're cooking a roast chicken, and you say, well, you turn the oven on to 200 degrees C. That means it's hot. You don't need to add that bit. It goes without saying that the temperature that you're utilising in that description means the oven's going to be hot. Well, in this instance, when you're measuring adjacents, when you're taking a 90 degrees to a ground position, when you're measuring a surface level, when you're utilising the sea level, when you're measuring elevation, when you're detailing elevation angle measurement, these are all flat Earth prerequisites. It goes without saying that Earth is flat. It can't be anything else, or it's not the measurement that's being detailed. So it's almost redundant to say, well, this is a argument for a flat Earth. No, it's Earth being measured and utilised usefully flat, because it is. When we use Earth, it's flat. So it's measured. Goes without saying. It's not an argument, as Wondeck's pointing out. It's just a statement of fact. Earth is flat. Why else would we be measuring it like this? That would be flat. Well, obviously, because we're measuring it flat, it is flat. Otherwise, you wouldn't measure it flat. What's that? You think it's ball-shaped? Well, no, we'd be measuring it ball-shaped if it was ball-shaped. We don't. We measure it flat.
I think that's where the confusion is. They're thinking it's an argument when it's not.
You can perceive it in that way. If you're still on this tip that you need to figure out if you're on a ball or not, then you've succumbed to the trick. The trick being, make sure you always think, am I or am I not on a ball? Because then you just ignore and whistle straight past all of the measurements of Earth, which are always flat. Even if you want to believe you're on a ball, they're still flat. The measurements of Earth are flat if you want to use those measurements of Earth to turn into a ball. Geometrically, mathematically, you still have to measure Earth flat to do that. So it's not like, oh, well, it goes without saying we'll measure Earth flat because it's a ball. No, that's a contradiction in terms. That's very silly. I'm boxing at microphones as we speak, and I'm really sorry. We should be in the middle of doing live shows, but I will press play as soon as I've cut this little bit of tape off. I promise.
Since I have a moment,
and
B. Bennett. Oh, sorry. You want me to keep going on?
You carry on.
B. Bennett from chat. He wanted me to point out that they like to use the Glovers. They like to use they're using tangential planes, and but this guy isn't.
A tangent's not a measurement, though, is it? If you're trying to conceptually envisage something like that, then you're not actually making a measurement of the surface. Whereas in the case of celestial navigation, you are actually measuring the surface. So you can get measurements from the surface. You can draw tangents to a ball. But we're not doing that. We're measuring the surface. So, yeah, makes sense.
Plus, I keep going on about this fact. A tangent line isn't tangible. It's a mathematical concept. It's only used in like calculus, and when you're doing stuff on your computer screen, you can for different things that you might be doing in college or school or university. That's when you'll use a tangent line. It's not something that you can physically touch and use. So in the example on there, where the guy's got the triangle and the horizontal baseline across sea level, mean sea level, that isn't a tangent line. You're utilizing the actual surface of Earth. Nobody's pulling a tangent line out. For one, you can't do that. It's a mathematical concept. It's not used in reality. A tangent line is not used in reality. It's used on a computer screen. Just let that sink into your head.
It's basically going to build us a little circle here. So let's just make a number up. Let's say in order to see star A at 50 degrees, okay, at 6 p.m. at night, you have to be 900 miles away to be able to see that observation.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, that's 900 miles of a horizontal adjacent baseline using mean sea level. And that's probably going to be a radius, which is a straight line of a circle of equal altitude.
Yeah, so to put it another way, he's describing 900 miles of flat Earth.
Well, I could be 900 miles here, or I could be 900 miles anywhere along a big circle, right? I could see that same observation over here.
A very big, flat, two-dimensional circle, 90 degrees up from star A down to the 90-degree point that's perpendicular to your position, if you're trying to establish the ground position of this star. Is he trying to find out how high the star is? Is it just me, or does he just want the ground position by way of circle of equal elevation when he's describing this navigation process? He's not trying to find the height, is he? Just for the dumbos out there that seem to think this process is to acquire heights of the star. No, it's not, you bunch of idiots.
Okay, I could be over here at 6 p.m. and still see that at 50 degrees. So that's not really helping me either, because I could be here, I could be here, I could be here, I could be here. All these positions are 900 miles away from star A's location. And I can see the star at 50 degrees at all these various positions.
You know what you need? You need more than one star on a great big massive flat expanse that you can draw lots of circles of equal elevation, 900 miles radius. If you do 2 or 3 of them, you could find where you are. You could be on one of these positions where the other star's angle overlaps. That's what you really need to do. I'm ahead of the game with this.
So how could I help myself out here? I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, at least I know generally that I'm along this circle, if you will, at 6 p.m. And by the way, the technical word for this is what they call an LOP, line of position. So, well, you're looking at it as a circle, but technically we call it LOP, a line of position. So I'm along this, somewhere along this circle, okay? And of course the circle just continues out. So it's a start. So how can I help, really get an accurate idea of where I'm at? Well,
I'm way ahead of you. Just need another star.
Oh, I look in the sky and I look for something else. Okay, I come over here and I see, lo and behold, I see star B twinkling over here. And I'm like, oh, star B. Let me go ahead and take a look at you at the same time. Well, actually, let's say it's 6:01 or 6:02 p.m. And I do the same thing with star B. And I go through the whole rigmarole just as I did here. I measure its angle, I look in the book and everything else, and the book tells me, hey, the only way you could be seeing star B at this particular angle is you would have to be along, let's say, this line, okay, this line of position. So now I have 2 lines of position, all right? I can be seeing star B, say, somewhere along this circle at 6:02. So you can see where the 2 lines or the 2 circles are crossing seems to be the obvious place where I'm going to be at, right? And that is called...
No, because this circle would also intersect this circle at another point over here somewhere. So on your line of position for this measurement, there's a simultaneous duplicate of an intersecting point on both circles for 2 measurements. Now, it might be
correct
that this is in the sea and the other intersecting point is on the land. Therefore, you go, well, I'm on a boat, so that discounts this position over here. But if you're doing this and you're just out at sea, there's a very good chance that where the two circles, the lines of position, intersect, are both in the ocean. And there you go. Therefore, you go, well, am I at this position or am I at the other intersecting position? That's why you do 3. So once you've done the third star, you know where you are on a flat Earth.
Yep. Well pointed out, Nathan.
Called a fix in navigation terms, FIX, a fix.
Yeah, I mean, you'd call it a fix if you could discount the other intersecting point. You'd normally only be absolutely certain in this scenario with 3, but he's close enough.
Fix, and that's your position based upon your navigation.
Not the height of the star. I thought the conclusion was how high the star was. Maybe this guy doesn't know he hasn't got the memo. Maybe
Efforts. So
navigation efforts, not star height measuring efforts. Maybe the what do we call them? Wankers out there, the straw man using wankers. He's not trying to find the height of the star, wankers. Trying to find your navigational position. Did you hear him? Finding his position with flat Earth measurements there. Did you hear him? He's not getting the height of the star because he doesn't need it. If you're trying to find your way home, you need your fix. That's where you are, on the ground. The flat ground that you measured with circles of flat equal elevation for flat circles with lines of position on them. So you can find the intersecting point between two lines of position. They're flat. That's how Earth gets measured. Oh, hold on. I'm getting news in my ear. This is also on a list.
Just watching this, though, everybody who's just a small diagram we've just watched about this guy explaining how when you're at sea, using the sea level for your elevation angles, it's obvious. That's obvious what's happening there, isn't it? You can see what's happening, can't you? This guy on the water, he's taking elevation angles to start A and B. He's using the surface level of the ocean for the elevation angles. He's utilizing surface level of the Earth to find his position. He's not, and it's horizontal, not curved. Now, nobody can come in here, and one of them distances is 900 miles of a straight line. In some instances, it could be 3,000 miles of a straight line across the ocean between GP of star and yourself.
Yeah, Earth's so
Straight,
big it's really flat.
Yeah. But you can't, somebody who's watching this and looking at that can't say, well, you're not using the surface of Earth.
We are. It's what we're using specifically to get the measurements, and then we're finding our position on that surface. The one that the people who say it's not their ball surface say it isn't. It's just not your ball surface, you bunch of muppets. It's just measuring it flat. You can't measure it any other way. It can't be 90 degrees to the ground position if it's not. It can't be an elevation with respect to the 900-mile distance that he described to the edge of the line of position, unless it's flat. It is. That's how he's measuring it. Yeah, that's how Earth gets measured. There aren't any exceptions to this. We don't measure Earth anything other than flat because it is flat, or we wouldn't measure it that way. We do because it is.
That's the basics of celestial navigation.
Just the basics of it, you basic bitches. Understand how flat it is.
And let me just actually throw something else in. If I wanted to make my fixed location more accurate, what could I do? Well, here I use 2 stars.
Get the height of the star. Let's see if I'm right.
Maybe I want to look at another star C. And I would continue to get more and more lines of position, more circles. So you could see it gets pretty involved. And actually,
he's just going through what I went through earlier, but he's not mentioned the specific reason that you do this. If, like I say, if this intersecting point was achievable by discounting a second of the intersecting points on the 2 circles, you're not going to get any more accurate than that. Like position C, if he measures an angle to it now, will intersect here as well. Right? Because that is where you are if you've discounted the other point, but it doesn't make it more accurate. You know, it only discounts the second intersection point that it could be. Well, that's the inaccuracy that you're trying to rule out with star C.
when I was in the Navy, and I don't know if you know this or not, but in a former life, I was a U.S. Navy officer. I was a surface warfare officer, and on one of my tours, I used to navigate a billion-dollar warship. That was my responsibility. So I had a bunch of people, a bunch of equipment, and I took this stuff very seriously because I had to. But I would say, for our team, probably take us anywhere from say 15 to 30 minutes of observations with our sextants and doing some pretty good level of mathematics to work out and get these positions. So if it looks involved.
Say level ended it.
To a certain level.
This guy's been in the Navy. He's been on big bloody warships. He's not, he's not an idiot. This is what he's been doing. He's explaining what he's done. It's a very important means of trying to pinpoint your position if there's nothing else you can use to save lives when out at sea, to get you back safely, or find out where you are. This is what you're using. This is how it's done.
That's because it is involved. But the thing about it, the beauty about it, is without any electronics at all, simply armed with a sextant, a book, and some math, okay, and obviously some training, you can locate your position anywhere on Earth. And I think that's really cool. Using the stars, that's amazing. And then
yeah, it's amazing that, for this guy, he doesn't have to go out of his way to mention an excuse for why it ain't ball-shaped. But it isn't, ipso facto. He's just measured Earth flat in a multitude of different ways. That's how Earth gets measured. Like, there isn't any exceptions to this. That's just how it's done. In all instances, whenever we measure Earth, it's going to be measured flat. Like, this guy just measured it. Yeah? Now, I'm sure there's a whole faction of fundamentalist religious zealots that feel the need to compel themselves to tell the guy, you need to disclaim why it's not being measured ball-shaped, and then explain that that doesn't mean it's not ball-shaped, in spite of you not measuring it ball-shaped. And when you measure it flat, you need to also disclaim that that doesn't mean it's flat when you require it to be flat, because that's how you're measuring it. Yeah, there's going to be people out there that feel compelled to do that. I don't. I just understand English when he measures Earth flat, because there's no other way to measure it. That's how Earth gets measured. That's because Earth's flat.
Even after he said 900 miles? Gee.
Yeah, the other thing too is you should really get appreciation of how ancient mariners, how they established trade throughout the world, and of course all you history buffs can kind of really get into the value of navigation, how it plays its role in history. It's really amazing.
It's just amazing how flat Earth always was measured. As part of history, it's very important that we understand how flat Earth was always being measured throughout history. Very important indeed. I agree. But
if you are trying to talk to somebody about how we utilise the Earth and as a horizontal flat plane, don't use this example because apparently it's on a list somewhere that you're not allowed to use it.
Yes, I'm just looking it up. I'm getting word in my ear right now. Yes, apparently talking about how flat we measure Earth with elevation angles, circles of equal elevation, and horizontal distance. It's on a list. You can't talk about it.
Elevation profiles are the stupidest thing to prove flat Earth. What is wrong with you all?
What's wrong with me? Talking about how flat Earth is when we deviate from how flat Earth is in a measurement of Earth and how flat it is, or isn't, depending on the elevation profile. That's just stupid speak for flirfs and stuff. Yeah, Earth's measured flat in every way you can measure Earth. It's because it's flat. There's nothing more to say about it. It almost feels redundant at this stage. But, there's going to be, as I say, people out there that find themselves in the awkward position. We call it the hard place, where they want to deny the measurements of Earth because it's not measuring ball-shaped. Now, it doesn't matter to them that later down the road they'll have to relinquish all belief in any sphere shape that they develop from these flat measurements that they also require. In the moment, it proves it's flat. Therefore, they're not at measurement. It's not the surface. You're deluded. You're a bunch of idiots. How do you sleep at night? Terribly is the answer.
Well, I think they need to be more specific. If you're going to say it's not our ball surface, and I'll agree.
Yeah. Next time you want to say, no, with this guy, he's not measuring the surface level for an angle. When he measures the surface level for an angle. What you actually mean is it's not your ball surface that he's measuring, because you don't get angles from ball surfaces. You certainly don't get vast 900-mile circles of equal elevation to give you a line of position. Unless Earth's flat. I mean, it's a prerequisite. If it isn't, there's none of this works. It fails miserably. It's got to be flat. You can't measure it any other way. Earth's measured flat. This is it being measured flat. It's not complicated.
Like I said before, a tangent line is not being used in this demonstration. The surface of the water, sea level, is being used. Tangent lines are not tangible. That's where the word comes from. You can't touch one. You can't feel one. It's a mathematical concept. So put your tangent lines away. They're useless.
I can feel it up if I want to. You're not the boss of me. I'm stroking my tangent right now. Is there anything else to cover in this video?
I think you think that was it. We've gone through the main points
If
there.
you enjoyed
There
this
is,
video,
it's gonna be
please
flat
follow me on
anyway.
YouTube, or rather come on over to tabletclass.com. Maybe you want to take a free trial. But anyways, thanks for spending a little time with me, and have a great...
It's been a pleasure. I mean, we haven't shared out your link, so I'll do that now. Please let Tableclass Math? Something like that. No, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots, or indeed the videographer himself. So there's a link, as I say, whirling its way by. If you are amongst the 58 people watching live, please do this as we speak. Pop along to his channel. I'm not saying it for my health. Let him know. Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. It's quite an old video. It's from 13 years ago. Right around the time I was just edging my way into this subject. Probably looking at psychopathy and subliminal messages when he made this video. Little did he know that we'd be covering him 13 years later, and you, my very valued audience member, would be toddling along 13 years later to this video to say, you know what? I'm watching a video by Nathan Oakley 1980 right now, and he's talking about you and this video and how flat Earth is being measured. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't time fly?
You mean to tell me that 13 years ago, this guy was telling people how Earth is measured? Wow. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought how flat it was?
Well, to think about it, throughout history, they were telling us that. Nobody was hiding anything. So when people say, they're hiding Earth, what? They've been saying it from the beginning. Just didn't pick up on it. That's our fault.
Yeah, we've been trained for such a long time that we need to argue about how Earth's not a ball. And we lost track of how flat Earth was always being measured, even to believe you're on a ball, to then for us to turn around and say how it isn't one. It's like, no, it's just measured flat. There's no need to make this complicated. It's not that serious. Arguing the complexities of heliocentrism, why would you spend so much of your day doing that? It really isn't that serious, is it? Shout out to, is it chocolate, how do you say that? Tuberculous says happy birthday. Gives me 100 Aussie dollars. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Hope I've said your name right.
I think that's Tuberticus. He's always in there giving you some money. It's a good guy.
Yes, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to give it a little thumbs up and everything. And a little heart. Look, check it out. Right. we've only got about 5 minutes left on this live stream. It's been fun. It's been emotional.
Been educational.
And very instructive. It's been excellent. Like we said, the Earth was always flat and always utilized flat for eons. Thank you.
And measured, always measured flat. It's amazing when you look back and see how Earth has always been measured flat. Makes you want to smack yourself in the face.
Yeah, it does seem obvious after the fact, doesn't it? In the pre-show, you were talking about somebody who's making it all complicated, talking hypothetically about going up mountain tops and firing out nail guns. I'm like, well, that'd be a ballistic trajectory that you're going to need a flat Earth for. And Neil's like, yeah, and you're going to need an elevation off surface level for the height of the mountain. Nathan sent me to give you a polite comment. Thank you for 900 miles circle of equal elevation, says Unitoximum via a super chat. I assume that's what you've put on his channel. Thank you very much for popping along. And indeed, if you are one of those audience members that do actually take heed when I suggest that you go out and let these various videographers know, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots, or indeed the videographer themselves. Thank you if you're that guy or girl out there spreading the good word. Hopefully.
So that guy's going to be like, this is a 13-year-old video. Somebody's commenting on it now. Then he's going to go to you and see a flat Earth. Oh, boy.
What, praising
Open
him?
up a can of
Praising him
worms.
for his consistency. How beautifully eloquent he's been in describing how his flat Earth measurements function. Well, good on you. Thank you very much indeed. Celestial Navigation Math being the name of the video. Brilliant work. What more can I say? I'm not telling him he needs to explain and disclaim why it's not something that it isn't being measured. Am I? Others might do that. I mean, I wouldn't advise people do that, but that's what people do. Maybe we could put him on a list.
There's no way in the world. Sorry, Neil. Just saying, there's no way in the world anybody can look at that 900-mile radius and argue that it's a curved measurement. You can't do that now. We've just shown you what it is. It's using sea level. It's 900 miles. How can anybody look at that and say, well, that's curved?
Well, now, we always said that the ball is mathematical. Well, I'm starting to see that flat Earth is mathematical. It's all in the math. It's right there.
Yeah, it's basic stuff. It goes without saying Earth is flat. That's how it's measured.
I think it'd be a good saying if we'd started telling people that Earth was measured flat. Why don't we start doing that?
That's copywritten. So again,
It's all in the math.
I'm getting word in my ear again. I'm sorry to do this. What's that? Saying Earth's measured flat is not allowed. It's on the list. Oh no, I've just got bad news for you guys. Apparently saying Earth's measured flat, even when it's measured flat, like in these examples, that's not allowed. It's on a list. I don't know what to say.
I'd like to say hello to a few people that I know are listening. Hello.
Okay. I'd like to do the same too. Hey, Mom, how's it going? I'm on TV.
We know you're listening. I forgot how to say the guy's surname, but I know he's listening. Aiken or something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Guy used to be on this panel. What are you talking about? Adam Larkin? Aiken?
Larkin. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to round out this live show. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If indeed you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, however, stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Hit me up on PayPal, Patreon, smash the super chat, all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.